It is about relationships. Those that lose them, those that can't sustain them. The Pleistocene megafauna fed on trees that evolved to feed them. Then the giant animals died. The widow trees lived on. They are part of this story. Hedge Apple.
Greg, are you there? Thank God, he finally nodded off. I don't know what to do. I really can't take much more of this. He's worn me out. Maybe I should just leave like he keeps telling me to. He's so totally obsessed with his forests and trees and thickets, and I'm talking over the top obsessed. Oh, and that hedge apple he keeps on his desk all the time. He studies that thing constantly. It's almost like he's in love with it. Don't you think I know that? I'm sure that's why he's been distancing himself from all of us. Me, his mom, you guys. But this is more than some kind of overzealous scientific curiosity. There's nothing wrong with that. But this time he won't let me in. A couple of weeks ago, he asked me flat out if I thought his whole life, the work he does, had any real value. He's now convinced himself that ordinary people, and especially his own students, who love him dearly and are just as worried as we are, could care less about studies of the Pleistocene era. That's what they call the Ice Age, right? Greg, I typed his dissertation papers. I know exactly how much that research means to him. What's happened? Is it me? Maybe he's right. Maybe he should try something else. Extinct animals and the plants that supposedly fed them would not be everybody's favorite party topic. I'd support him no matter what he did, Greg. But the way he's been acting lately, it's just so hard. If he loves me like he claims, he's sure not giving me much of a chance to help. Yeah, I know, but when I try to talk to him about it, he gets really mad. We had a really serious, pretty ugly quarrel right before I called. The man is hurting and he's fixated on getting into that new tree thing as a way to deal with the pain. I don't even know where it came from. Did it just appear? Did he make it? But for whatever reason, he's closing himself off from everything in order to try to find some kind of message or meaning from within it.
Yes, I know. I
know this. I can't argue with him anymore. I end up crying. I'm crying now. Nothing seems to get through to him. Greg, I'm going to leave. I mean it. The best thing for him is to be alone. Work his way through whatever it is. Let him do it alone. I think my being around is just making it worse. Anyway, I'm no use to him like I am now. And I'm afraid he's pulling me down with him. I'd better go. Thanks. I know. I will. I'll let you know where to reach me. But I mean it, Greg. Whatever he thinks he has to do, he has to do it alone.
Oh, sorry, Mandy. Must have drifted off. When did you get here? How did you get in here?
I've been here, Tony. We were talking, well, fighting, actually. You sat down there and just sort of collapsed. That was around noon. It's nearly 3 now. And I used the key you gave me months ago to get in here. Don't you remember any of that?
Yeah, sure. I'm lying. I don't... Wait, while I was out, did anything happen here?
Tony, those are just sticks. Very old sticks. Nothing is going to happen to them. How can it? It's just dead wood. Let's go home. Get out of here for a while. Get some rest. Maybe something to eat.
Don't you understand? I can't leave now. I've got this feeling. I'm on the verge.
I have feelings too, Tony.
Look, Mandy, this is my work. I don't need anybody's advice on what to do. Go on ahead. I'll call you when I'm done. For this once, please, just leave me alone.
It's not this once, and you've been alone for weeks. That's the problem. It's gotten to you, changed you. For both our sakes, let's get out of here before you start hearing voices or something.
Go home, Mandy. Get out, I mean it. Mandy, get out. These sticks mean a lot more to me than you can understand. And they may be my last chance to figure out what I've been doing for the past 10, 12 years. Don't you get it? I've got to come up with some kind of answers. Justification, meaning something. And soon. Or I may have to admit I've wasted a big chunk of my life. Of both our lives. I'm not sure how I might handle that. Now please, can't you just go?
I want to be here for you, Tony. But if you're not careful, my walking out of here might be some kind of final straw or something. Listen to me. I'm going to do some serious thinking about us. And I think maybe it's time you got hold of yourself and dealt with this midlife career crisis, your mystical sticks, and that stupid hedge apple or whatever it is. I'm dead tired, Tony. And I may or may not be able to keep this up. I love you, but you're pushing me away.
I know. Go home. Where did I leave off? 3:35 p.m. I did it. It was likely the biggest mistake of my life, but I sent Mandy away. What I'm doing and what I'm dealing with just doesn't give me room for her or for anyone else. My teaching, my research, and now my relationships are all shot to hell. And why? Stupid voices in my head. For the record, it's been over a month, and I'm still hearing them. They're off in the distance, but I'm sure that they are real. I'm not hallucinating or losing my mind, and if I am, that's all the more reason to keep Mandy and Greg and all of my students out of it. They don't need to share my delusions, if that's what they are. But I still think there is something here, and whatever it is in that forest. And whatever that Hedge Apple can share with me. If I can unravel even some of their mysteries, maybe I can salvage some kind of life. If I can't,
La-di-da-di-da-di-da, Pristinas. La-di-da-di-da, Megatherium. Pomifera.
Shh. Mandy? I forgot. Long gone. Like me, I guess. Can't say I blame her. But I'm convinced the answer to it all is in that tangled forest somehow, but how do I get in? How can I find out what I need to do to put myself back together? Mandy, are you still here?
It will come to you.
It will come to you. Did you hear that? No, of course not. maybe you hear voices too. Know who that is? Fearstock, the eminent Professor Albert Fearstock, singing his lectures to a weary crew of night school students, bleary-eyed botany students, and I was one of them. The old man figured that singing might keep us awake to be open to his words of wisdom. He was right, it did. I could use some of that wisdom now. Are you still here?
Welcome to the introduction to the megafauna of the Pleistocene era.
Do you know what that means? Massive creatures of the Ice Age or thereabouts. Believe it or not, that's it. What my studies are all about. My life's work. My life's work, for what it may be worth. Digging into all the evidence I could find about life in that majestic era, like a primeval Sherlock Holmes.
Then get on with it. Do what you know you came here to do. Tell them your problem. Well, problems. You really have more than one, don't you?
Go on.
Your first problem is that you find yourself wandering aimlessly through the halls of the academic world you inhabit, and your great dream is to preserve the memory of a distant age. But you don't know how. Only that you are failing to achieve any connection to make it meaningful. But there is a second problem, isn't there? Yes, I was eavesdropping, but I already know these things because I know how you are, my young friend. This career crisis you speak of has cast dark shadows on what should be an extremely rewarding life in the field you have chosen. And it is also eroding what I have observed was a quite lovely personal relationship as well.
How do you know all about that? But I know I'm the bad guy in the equation, but let's not argue about that now. Look at this thing, Professor. It's impenetrable. I've tried everything. Somehow I've got to find the way in and discover whatever is hidden in there. It is in there, isn't it? It's all wrapped up in there.
Patience. Patience.
Damn it, Professor, I've been patient. I need to use what I've been taught. And I'm convinced that finding a way in there is how I can do that. If I could just navigate my way in, it might help me do something that I can't even find a name for right now. You said it before. I've got to come up with a justification for what I've spent my life looking for. And you're right. My personal problems are all tangled up in that thicket as well, aren't they? That's why I've deserted my friends and pushed her away. Damn it, that doesn't make any sense. And who would care anyway?
Patience to protect and preserve the past and to heal one's own heart. Those are both worthy goals and perhaps not as incompatible as you may think. But you must be patient.
It's easy for you to say. You've gone to your reward. And you're probably traipsing around in a grove of hedge apples right now, singing the saber-toothed tigers, gigantic ground sloths, and those huge terror birds or whatever else is prowling around out there.
I told you, patience.
Professor, look. You have said over and over that you want to help me. So can't we break into this thing together? I'm not certain what we'll find there. But I'm sure all the scientific names and words and pictures that I studied won't be enough to describe it. Somehow, I've got to get inside of it and experience it, live it, or relive it. Whatever it is.
I understand, my boy.
I've got to go beyond being limited by the words and symbols. The next step is somehow in that forest. I know it. The words just aren't enough. can't shake the idea that I'm somehow part of a living procession, and I have got to join the parade. See where I can fit in. If I could do that just once, I think everything might fall into place.
I can help. I will help.
In here and in there, I feel like there's a place where I could somehow belong, but I'm not sure I'm wanted. Even now, I feel like an intruder. But something inside of me says, go on, go in. So help me. Are there rules about getting inside? Are you allowed to go with me? Can you at least guide me? Give me some kind of a map or something? Wait, have you been in there before?
Well, it's possible. But do not think that I was the one who led you here. Would I bring you to such an impasse?
No, of course not. But I have no clue what did. I'm just stalemated, dead in the water. It's that first step, how to get in. Is there some kind of key? Am I missing something? How could a dead professor help me?
Well, I already told you. I didn't lead you here. But did you ever consider that perhaps I was the one who prepared you for this moment?
Great. More riddles. You're being as impenetrable as the forest itself.
Now, I'm only suggesting that perhaps you are exactly where you need to be. But it's up to you to find your own way in. Rediscover the value in your life. Use your scientific mind to create your purpose. Take a moment, my boy. Think back to some of the words we shared.
No, not words. Words are not sufficient to define the majesty of what those past epics must have been like. Don't you remember your endless references to the living legacies of that era? Like these things. A hedge apple. A survivor of the glacial age. The age I'm trying so hard to experience and communicate to my... Whoa. Hedge apple. Hold on a minute. Is that it? Are you suggesting that the hedge apple is somehow the key to what I need to do? You always said these things were really significant. But why? What do they do? Why are they important?
This is good. Use your science. Stay the course. Keep searching. Come on. More. More. It's good for you.
Are these weird-looking things some kind of a trigger? Or a threshold? Or what? Is there a connection between this and what I'm struggling with? Come on, Professor, don't play with me. Is there a connection? One thing's for sure. Even the glaciers couldn't stop this lady. She lived through it all. So are you saying this fruit might have an answer or two for me? Okay? Hedge apple. I'll take that as clue number 1. Now, what's next?
Well, like you say, she is a lady. So ask her. But don't just talk to her. Go beyond words. You said it yourself. Words are insufficient. Find out what's on her mind. What she has to say to you. She likes that.
Talk to her, huh? Well, I guess if I can hear the voice of a dead professor, I might as well believe I can talk to an apple. How do I ask?
Think it. Say it. Sense it. All of those work for me.
so I can hear the voice of a dead professor and hedge apples. Are you the key? Are you willing to let me in? Do I have to know some magic word? Rub you 3 times or pass a test or something?
Oh, nothing so mysterious. Why don't you look more closely at your table there? You'll find there's something there for you.
This wasn't here a minute ago. Did you?
Don't open it right yet. I want you to save it. Put it in your pocket. You'll know it when you need it. It's a little gift from me to you. Now, like any genie in a bottle, I do need you to do something for me.
I knew it. I knew there would be a price. But if I'm dreaming this, I'm ready to do whatever you ask of me. You may be that ghost of evolution Dr. Fearstock always said you were, or maybe you're just some kind of intriguing, historic leftover. But here you are. And I'm either totally bonkers or I'm on to God knows what. All I can do is keep going.
Oh, but you're not dreaming, my young friend. Keep going. Enjoy your journey.
Hey, you're still here. I thought you went back to wherever you go to. What journey?
Oh, she will take you where you need to go and may well let you experience a very intimate look at the events that await you there. You see, if she does this, she also reclaims her place in this beautiful evolutionary process. Now, she's a lot like you, don't you think?
What do you mean?
Well, what she provided was once the reason for her existence. Now, like you, she feels that she has to offer nothing that is sufficiently understood or appreciated. Do you see? From this point on, my friend, you will be more than just a scientist stuck in this laboratory at a standstill, as you put it, juggling words and descriptions. You'll become an actual explorer, the one you want to be in the field, a discoverer of the reality of things that are housed in the ancient past.
Oh, come on, Professor. Can you two really do that?
Toss aside your books and formulas for a moment. Prepare yourself to relive another epoch as it actually happened. And perhaps you and our lovely Hedge Apple can begin to feel useful, even important, once again.
I get it now. You two are in this together. Fair enough. But do both of you understand how this has to work for me? I want to come out of this somehow more committed. Not to just understanding, but to celebrating life as it was in a world that was lost thousands of years ago. Then maybe I can share with... All right. So I'm about to make some kind of a deal with the Hedge Apple. What do I do? What is it you want from me?
I know how you feel, Tony. That's why we selected you. There was a time I was very grateful to be the nurturer of the life that you study. I loved it. The professor can tell you. I loved being a mother. I provided a kind of nourishment to the wonderful creatures who sought me out in their hunger to survive.
And you were so good at what you did.
And now, I feel nothing and only serve as a barrier to others. Perhaps that's how you feel sometimes in your classroom, aware that the world and its past wonders is full of wonders to share, but just out of reach, put on a shelf like some meaningless artifact.
That's exactly it.
Please let me finish. I need you to help me to be recognized as having value beyond being called a poor widow, unable to provide as I once did. I am so much more than the hedge that I am now. Help future generations remember me of greater value than the way I am perceived today. Do this for me, Tony, and I will guide you to the place that may well answer your questions. You need this as much for yourself as for me.
Yes, that's precisely what I want to do. I want to find out why those creatures that you nourished ceased to exist. What kind of disaster happened? Was it our fault? Do you think our ancient ancestors did something or failed to do something that ended that marvelous parade of life?
Oh, Tony, Professor, we found the right one. He's asking the right questions.
I respect those creatures. They matter so much for me. They are what I have always wanted to bring to life in my teaching. But when I try to share that life with my students, I feel so damned inadequate.
You've heard my request. If together we can conjure up those ancient creatures, I want to help them once again. Tell my story, and that would be enough for me.
But you have real memories of what I can only imagine. Your ancestors were there. Wait, you can't go back, can you? So is that where I come in? I go back and try to understand why we humans were selected to be the ones to survive and flourish, and why you, of course, I'll do it.
Oh, wonderful!
You get me there, and I'll do my best for us both. If there's a way to do it, those creatures need to know that through us, the world will learn to appreciate their existence. Am I right?
It could be daunting. Do you feel comfortable going in alone?
Who would I take with me? The professor is dead. Sorry about that. Mandy just... God, I wish she could. And besides, I'm not sure how to travel with the Hedge Apple doing the navigating. So here I stand, totally unsure of my science, my teaching, my friends, and her. Maybe even myself. No, I'm pretty sure this will have to be a solo venture. Who'd want to go with me anyway?
I would. I really would. For a lot of reasons, but you're right, I can't go back. Neither can the good professor. However, we can provide you a way in. A kind of cradle that will allow you to sleep a bit, reawaken, and undertake the adventure for all of us.
Then let's do it. We can go right now. I'm ready to embrace whatever is there and share with the whole world something that has gone uncelebrated for far too long. You get me in there, and I swear I will find a way to sing the praises of not only Fearstock's magnificent megafauna, but also your legacy.
Fair enough. That's all I ask.
But Tony, now be sure that...
Don't forget to address your own issues at the same time. Your career, your friends, Mandy. We both can assure you that all of them are intertwined.
I guess there's a connection. I'll have to discover. But I'll remember to try to ask all the right questions.
Are you ready, Dr. Fearstock?
I think so. But first, give him the gift of sleep for just a little. His journey will demand much of him, and his spirits are low. But since his need is so great, I believe he is ready. We can proceed now.
I envy him.
I know, my dear. I wish we both could accompany him, but we know that is not our role.
What's next? Do I rub you or something?
Oh, I'd like that. No. This first part is very easy.
A little rest will provide you with all the support you require. I just want you to sleep.
But I'm not drowsy anymore. Just the opposite. I'm so fired up.
I'll be with you in apple blossom time.
Nope. I'm afraid that's not doing it.
Don't sit under the apple tree with anyone else.
Not another Apple song. I'll never fall asleep if you keep fooling around with me.
How about the golden apple aria from the Firebird?
Very funny. No, this is just not working.
I know a new one. I know the perfect one. And it's an old one. Shoe fly high, an apple pan dowdy.
No, I'll never.
And now your journey begins.
Hey, will there be any voices here to help me?
No!
Okay. But I am going to need some help with this next part. Are there any volunteers? Anyone? Okay, you can come on down to help. Come on down here, please. You are about to be a part of the show. You're about to be a part of this scene. You see those cards? I want you to use them to show our friends what I am about to experience. If you were listening, you heard me say that words aren't enough. So you can use these pictures to help bring this scene to life. Now you, don't hesitate. Let your hair down. Ham it up a little bit. It's going to be fun for you. I think. Anyway, you volunteered. Now you are in the show. Did you guys send this girl? It will come to you. I know. Well, I've got this. Whatever it is. Not yet. Maybe later. All right, now, bear with me. I am talking to a saber-toothed tiger. A saber-toothed tiger. Turn it over, please. Those are teeth, not horns. No. I am going to need more involvement from you, more energy. Inhabit your role. Be the tiger. Very good. Saber-toothed tiger. Now, it seems that he, or she, doesn't want to eat me. I'm glad of that. In fact, look at this. I swear that the animal is smiling. And you're not going to believe this, but I think she wants to play. Don't laugh. It's my scene. It seems that she is the leader of a whole procession of animals. The leader of a whole procession of animals. I'm pretty sure the tiger's job is going to be to lead me through my journey. There are dozens of creatures gathering behind her, and they all seem totally friendly. Can you sense it? No words are needed. The animals are gentle, and they elegantly nod to me as if to welcome me to where they live. And I am in their world, where I dreamed I could be. They seem to know that I want to be one of them. to share their lives, to learn from them, to join in the parade. Oh, wait a minute. I thought the ground was moving. But it's just snakes. Snakes. But do you know something strange? Like my friend the tiger, these reptiles seem to be eager to greet me. They slither across my feet and wrap around my ankles like snuggling puppies or kittens. It feels warm and sort of fuzzy. I can even pet them. And I do. Oh, hiss yourself. Uh-oh. More movement on the ground. Look. Beetles! Oh, gorgeous scarab beetles scampering aside as if to clear a better path for me. Yes, beetles. They're just as beautiful as the ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics portrayed them to be. Beguiling. Yes, absolutely. I told him the Hedge Apple still remembers them and sends her love. Can you believe it? These little messengers have agreed to spread the word in whatever Pleistocene language they use. How did I do? How's that? Can you hear the sounds? It's hard to tell if the music is coming from the forest or from the creatures themselves as they gather around to meet me. An animal symphony in this beautiful garden. An entire community of animals, the megafauna of the Pleistocene age. And this procession is for me. They seem to want to help me find my way. Side by side, single file, they walk by me with no distinction between the various species, all together, all equally important, each knowing its place. The way they move and the way they make me feel assures me that there is something very special going on in this forest. This is what real teaching should be.
Maybe it's some kind of rite of passage, like a religious ceremony. Can't you feel something spiritual here? I do. Like God, maybe?
Oh, wow! Dr. Fearstock! There's the monstrous terror bird that you were so fond of talking about. Oh, the terror bird. But there's no terror in it. It's 9 feet tall and 800 pounds, and it just struts among the others, fearless, but striking no fear. Children always want to see dinosaurs. Professor, here's your giant ground sloth. Oh, and you were right about this fellow. He must be 30 feet long and weighs a lot. This whole experience is beyond breathtaking, and we are in it. At last, really in it. I can feel something happening. My thoughts are becoming so much clearer, and I think I know why I needed to come here, and what I need to do in my work and my teaching when I get back. I always enjoyed teaching about these guys. Oh. You can take it. Pass it around. My God, the size and the grandeur of these animals. And they have absolutely no resentment at my intrusion into their forest. What a beautiful world this must have been, and what beautiful creatures. They appear almost grateful that I am among them. It's quiet. The music has stopped. Have we reached the end of the parade? I think you can sit back down now. Thank you. You did very well. But it seems that this part of the scene is just for me. Oh, this was wonderful. But it's not over, is it? There's so much more for me to learn. Right?
Much more.
You're the heart of it, aren't you? That the thing that's been nagging me all of this while. Is it possible that I have been part of some kind of evolutionary injustice? I know that my species survived, and these magnificent creatures did not. But why did their parade have to stop? Only the fittest should have survived, and clearly all of these were more equipped and fit than any of my kind to deserve a place in the process. What happened?
You received a gift.
I don't understand.
Now's your cue to take the package from your pocket. A gift made of obsidian and flaked to perfection. Your ancestors could have chose to keep it as it is now in your hand, a tool for scraping and digging. But that was not to be. Their already agile minds devised a way to attach this lethal point to a stick, making it to be a weapon, to be thrown from hiding or from great distances. They learned to cooperate with others to bring down their prey.
And it was that discovery that led to the end of the parade that you have been witnessing. The Homo sapiens became predators. Man dominated, and man survived. Our ancestors hunted, and the participants in this magnificent procession became our prey.
Mankind, with minds that were quick and spears that were sharp, they became something new and different in this forest, a species designed to grow at an amazing rate, leaving such creatures behind as you shared a path with today.
So that's it. That's why I felt I would be unwelcomed. But here I have not been turned away. They're not treating me like I don't belong. They seem to accept me. How can that be? We left them behind and forged ahead, and these beautiful, these magnificent...
That's it, you'll see. They do regard you with enormous respect. It is gratitude. Their lot was to be extinction, and partly by our hand. There was a reason that we were ordained to be the survivor of their age. They were both our victims and our forebears. We are their legacy. They love us. They instinctively knew without words or symbols. They take rightful pride in that. They respect us for what we were able to do. And now they forgive us, aware that they can exist only so long as their tale is told. No, they can't tell it, but you can. This makes them grateful. Oh, I see that smile, Tony. You see it. The work we do, our research and teaching, can perpetuate the marvel of their existence and engage us to use what happened to them to help those who exist today through scientific inquiry and teaching with words, pictures, and symbols, and now with a new feeling of newfound, loving respect.
It worked, Tony. Your journey has allowed you to live it and to acknowledge their world. You, like As another Homo sapien, not unlike yourself, once said.
You have the ability to give to airy nothing a local habitation and the name. Only your species could do that.
That same artist speaks of lunatics, lovers, and poets. Maybe we can add scientists to that list. To move forward on the shoulders of such giants surely makes us all better now. I see it. Because of them, we have become more fit for the world. I finally get it. It's up to me to make it real and to make it matter to my students, my friends, and most importantly, perhaps, to myself.
Oh, of course. And these creatures knew instinctively, through their own kind of harmony with nature, that others would follow. They gave that gift to be carried down through the generations. Oh, Tony, my dear Tony, do you feel that you are ready to accept the responsibility to tell such a story, not only accurately, but to study and to teach with respect and joy? And don't forget to give a lady called the Hedge Apple one of the lead roles.
I've always wanted to be a star.
I believe I can now. Wow, that primitive animals could instinctively care. That's what I have been missing in my own life, isn't it? That's the other part of the puzzle that I needed to solve. I get it now. Like them, I also have an enormous capacity to care, more than I ever thought possible. And as a human being, to appreciate even more fully how much someone else might care for me. My students, my friends, and... Do you think I get cell phone coverage here? Am I still in the forest? Am I back? I need to call Mandy.
You have reached Mandy's mailbox. I cannot take your call right now, but I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Please leave your number. Unless you are a certain botanist friend of mine. Tony, if this is you, I only want to hear that you've solved your damned puzzle. I miss you. Your friends miss you. Those students of yours miss you. We all care about you. I love you.
And I love you! My wonderful Mandy! Please call me. We've got to talk. I've got to tell you. I love you too. I've got to tell you where I think I've been. Where I've been. Mandy, come to the lab. Come right now. Just knock 3 times and I'll know it's you.